All right, we're underway. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lauren Salter. I'm our UCS director for Special Olympics Pennsylvania. For those folks that don't know me, it's wonderful to see everybody on the call today. We have a couple of our staff on the call as well, and a special guest to give a little spot on esports for us as well. So this afternoon, we're going to cover a number of different topics. So we'll talk about everything that's coming up for this spring to get you prepared, whether it is in regards to reporting, to spread the word, to anything else that is going to be popping up. We're going to cover anything and everything. So since we get this recorded, you can come and revisit the fun as many times as you wish throughout the end of the year. If you miss our face, be like, I really just want to pop on and listen to that webinar one more time. We'll send out the link next week so everybody has access to this as many times as they wish to revisit it. So our first thing that I would like to cover is we have been having a really awesome conversation around esports in Pennsylvania. And our special guest that I have here, Ryan Venner, is our assistant director of the Pennsylvania Scholastic Esports League. So Ryan is here to offer some more information about what his organization is doing and how that is applicable to our schools within Unified Champions Schools. So Ryan, I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. And thank you so much for having me. This is something, a space that has really grew over the last few years tremendously, and a space that we're really looking to expand in and get more and more equitable opportunities for all students, across the Commonwealth. So this is something that we're really excited to be a part of, something we're working towards. And like I said, we have 3 times as many teams competing with us this year as we did last year. So we really are growing tremendously. So my objective today is to just give a brief overview of kind of the Pennsylvania Scholastic Esports League, what we represent, kind of what separates us from other organizations, and a little bit of an introduction on our first unified division this spring. So that's kind of what I'm going to briefly discuss today. So let me just share my screen real quick so you can see. Maybe my slideshow. All right. Okay. Can everyone see that okay? Yep. Okay, perfect. Okay. So as I stated before, I am Ryan Venner. I am the assistant director of the Pennsylvania Scholastic Esports League. The director is Camus Kirsch. So I'm the STEM innovation specialist, and she is actually our STEM services coordinator. So if you ever get a message about PSCL, it's usually coming from either her or myself. Prior to this, I was in the classroom setting. I was a math and science instructional coach at Penwood Middle School in Darby, Pennsylvania, if anyone's familiar with Delaware County. So that's where I was prior to coming to the IU. All right, so kind of what separates us? So PSCL, we do realize there are other leagues around Pennsylvania, but what kind of separates us from those other leagues we are completely educator driven. So everything that we do is run or facilitated by educators that are in the actual classroom. We are free. It's not like we're trying to make money off of our providing gaming opportunities to kids. So again, that's just like some of the basic discrepancies between what we represent versus what maybe some other organizations you might find. So what we offer actually quarterly eSport networking meetings. So 4 times a year, we bring everyone together that's on our PSCL listserv to discuss, anything to do with esports, upcoming seasons, upcoming PD opportunities, upcoming student events, and also just give everyone a space to talk to one another. What's going well? How are you conducting practices? What can be improved on. So it's really a great opportunity that we offer, all teams to really come together and engage in those types of conversations. We offer support from start to finish. So if you're a coach that's like, hey, I just want to get started, what do I do? We offer any type of support. So whether that be, virtual meetings, if there's, ever a time where we have the opportunity to come to you or you come to us to have any sort of, face-to-face interaction to provide support, we can offer that. We also build college and career connections. So we have partnered with Harrisburg University that have helped us fulfill a variety of our eSport initiatives. So they actually partner with us over the summertime. We offered a esports immersion camp So students, both regular education students as well as some special education students, came for a week over, I think it was June. And the Harrisburg University Storm, that's like their esports team, actually had a couple team members come down, players come down, and for a week they gave instruction to our students and led activities all around concerning esports. So game design, gaming strategy, how to work through and help build that growth mindset when you get frustrated with games. So they really went through a variety of those topics with our students, and kind of the culmination of the week was on Friday. The students got to stream their live match with one another, and it was actually very refreshing because one of the students, the special education student, the mother actually emailed me later the next week and said that she never got opportunity to really see her son compete in like an athletic setting, and she got to watch her son play video games online, him like score a goal. So it was like, it's something they don't really realize, that those types of opportunities that are limited to those types of students, which really kind of prompted me. I'm like, we need to offer more of these types of opportunities, for all of our students. So that's kind of just one of the way we partner with Harrisburg University. We also partnered with them to provide an esports career day, which happened in over December, where we actually got to have a virtual career day where some of the players, as well as the professors and other faculty members of the university in the esports realm, kind of talked about, the growth of esports and the various careers that students could possibly pursue. Because it's not only just gaming, it's all the behind the scenes careers that could take place, like the shoutcasting, this media setup. There's so many other, career options you'd go to. So that's something we offer as well. We do host some in-person competitions, and we are the NASAF affiliate. So NASAF is kind of the national scholastic organization, and PSCL is kind of the Pennsylvania affiliate of that organization. So everything that we do try to models kind of what they have going in the national realm. So if you go on the NASAF website, they actually have like full-blown curriculums that you could adopt. They have a lot of great information on there. So if you ever want to learn more about, not only what we represent, but kind of what a NASAF represents nationally, be sure to check out their website there. So what is esports? Okay, why, what is it? And it's entirely because sometimes people are like, oh, what is it? Is it just kids playing video games? Is it, is it definitely another sport? And both that is yes. So esports is a form of competitive, organized video gaming, and then it's a result of streaming and social media platforms. It has become readily available for audiences to watch others play and or analyze competitive gaming. And we've seen that it's a very lucrative, actually market right now with, players making millions of dollars a year, playing competitively, and also the social media presence. Like there's so many individuals around the world that actually just log on to YouTube to watch other people play video games, which is something, that's becoming more and more popular, especially with Twitch and being able to stream, and have an audience to watch. So why esports and education? So this is a great infographic that I gave a presentation yesterday on some schools that are looking to get more buy-in from, the stakeholders and school board that they need to really get their program up and going. So this was an infographic I showed really, the benefits of esports in that school environment. So as you can see, more and more colleges and universities are offering esports scholarships. There's a really great statistic that says that female gamers are 3 times more likely to seek STEM majors in college than females who do not play video games. So we're really trying to kind of bridge that computer science, STEM, and esports connection. Right now, there's close to 20,000 unfulfilled computer science jobs in Pennsylvania, and also that career readiness piece. So 71% of those jobs will require some sort of computer science skills. In addition to that, we've saw esports provides a great opportunity for students to learn social emotional skills. So being able to self-regulate when they get, upset, being able to calm down and really kind of refocus, being able to collaborate with one another. You'll be surprised how many of these games require a lot of collaboration and communication on tasks that they need to complete in the game and work with others, which is a big point in the realm of special education. Being able to kind of build that social emotional component and being able to work on those collaborative skills really help with career readiness is what we've seen. our why. Again, this isn't just students from low income schools. It's, students from low income schools, but also those students that do struggle with some learning difficulties. They benefit more from participation in the esports than students that come from high income schools or the regular education setting, because it helps that social emotional component, helps them learn how to collaborate with one another. It helps them feel like they're part of an organization or a part of a team, where sometimes those types of students that compete in esports, sometimes they do feel more isolated. So it really kind of brings those groups of students together. So additional benefits of participating with us. So we do offer, local and regional opportunities. So as we grow, we're offering more regional opportunities. So our end goal is hopefully, to make this more like a PIAA, official sport. So, the schools compete against each other around their area, and eventually it kind of feeds into the state and possibly national championship. So that's what we're building. And we're actually getting closer and closer to that model as the years go on. We also offer awards and incentives. So we actually got a grant where we sent all of our winners these really big trophies that they could hang up in their school, which is really cool. We had some coaches email us, like, oh, we're going to hang this up in our, front area. So when people walk in, they can really see the trophy. So in addition to that, we do offer networking opportunities, partnerships with possible vendors. So we do offer all those additional items as well. Okay. So the benefits of esports that we've seen over time is that we've seen increased attendance and academic performance with students that do compete in esports. As part of PSCL, we do make sure, or part of our rule set is students must maintain a certain GPA. So they must be, sometimes it does keep some students, on par with their grades. As I stated before, it is an excitement to pursue STEM and computer science courses and careers, opportunities for college career readiness, social emotional learning, and again, accessible in all learning environments. So this is something that we get a lot of questions about. So oftentimes we get questions on, well, what if we don't have the funding to have, the equipment in schools? And that's completely okay. We have a lot of teams that go home first. The students log on and they compete from home. So it's okay if for some reason you don't have the systems, available or not yet, or there are options. So you can be remote, face-to-face, or hybrid. We have some students that are in the school setting and some students that go home and they still compete on the same team. So there's really a lot of options here that you can make it work. And talking with other coaches, some coaches, they actually rent out, different arenas, or they rent out community centers or libraries. So there are options, and as part of PSCL, we're there to kind of help offer support and try to help you come up with those options so you can compete with us. So this is kind of that was kind of the main, a lot of background information on PSCL. This is more about our actual unified division for the spring season. So what we're going to offer is we want to start our unified division just offering one title. We want to kind of start small and kind of build from there. So we're going to offer Rocket League in the springtime, and it's going to run from the end of March or early April to May. So this is what's we're trying to model our unified division off of some other successful states that have implemented this. And one of the models was that each team will consist of 3 players. So you can, again, it's just one team. You might have a group, but for every 3 students, we're going to have 2 athletes and 1 partner. So if you're considered an athlete, that's a student that receives special education services. And then a partner will be someone or a student that does not receive special education services. So for every 3 people, or for every 3 students or 1 team, we would like to have 2 athletes and 1 partner, if that makes sense. So I can certainly kind of pause there because I know I just went through a lot before I continue, but I don't know if there's any other questions or if we're even doing questions. I'm sorry, I don't know if we're doing that. It's up to you.
Oh, we can definitely do questions because you're going to know how to answer those way better than I can, Ryan.
Okay, so maybe I should stop here, and if there's any questions, if not, I can continue. That might be the best.
Sure. How about we keep going, Ryan? And then
okay,
so we have
questions at the end.
Well. Yeah, if anybody has
chat.
questions, go ahead and drop them in that chat and we'll make sure that they are addressed.
And
Thank
also, if they come up with questions after, like after I'm done and I log off and they want to put in the chat, you can always email me and I could get back to you, down the line. So, okay, perfect. So that's kind of our projected spring unified season. We are going to be holding an interest meeting. I think it was January 23rd. I'll get the information with a specific date and time I can send to Lauren, and then she could certainly shoot that out to everyone again. All right. So that was our unified division. And again, just some additional resources to help support, just getting started. We have a lot of coaches that just, they're like, tell me how I can get started. Well, the first place, one of the first places I usually send coaches is the NASAP website. And that's where this image is taken from. And they have a lot of great resources on there for just getting started, how to conduct a practice, what games we should play, like just kind of very just solid information that beginning coaches need. And this infographic kind of represents the various avenues that you could look at on the website. All right, so just kind of 3 steps to get started. So I did send this presentation out, so you should still be able to extract the links if you download the presentation as well. But the first thing that you should do is join our league, which our website's on there. So the first thing you do is just join our listserv. So that's kind of our first step. So once you join that, you'll receive all updates on any upcoming tournaments, any upcoming seasons, any additional information that we kind of send out. So once you sign up for that, you'll receive all the information via email. Then if you want to kind of log on the NASAP website, as I stated before, they have a lot of great documents for just getting started. Like I said before, how to, start a club, how to market your club, how to run a practice, kind of those logistics. All that great information is located on the NASAP website. And then our next PSEL networking meeting is February 7th from 3:30 to 4:30 via Zoom. So once you click on that Zoom link, it's like a Zoom registration link. So once you register, you'll receive the Zoom link afterwards. But that's our next PSEL quarterly meeting. And that's when we bring kind of everyone that's on the PSEL listserv together just to go over any, updates and action items, and just get everyone together to see, what's going well, what's not going well, how can we improve? Because oftentimes we see, we learn the most by just learning from other coaches. Oh, I did this in a practice and it worked well. Or, we tried this as a gaming strategy, it worked well for our team. So like those types of conversations we engage in during those PSEL networking meetings. And again, just other things to be mindful of. I know I'm going through this kind of quickly, but you'll have the presentation, so hopefully you can always go back and look at it if you need to. So leveraging your resources. If you work for a school that might not have a lot of funding or a lot of opportunities to possibly obtain esports equipment, I've talked with coaches where they've reached out to local community centers, local gaming stores where they want to help support their local schools. So oftentimes they can get discount equipment at their local organization. So definitely reach out to anyone that that's local that might be able to assist with maybe securing esports equipment at a maybe a better price than you might get from ordering it online. So definitely reach out and try to see how you can leverage your local resources. Our next advice is always start small. So even if you can't field a full team and you just want to have some students play video games and get together, that's a start. And that's where we see a lot of teams just start. It starts as a club first. And as students, attract other students and grow. And then it becomes more, it's a little bit easier to start a competitive team that way when it grows organically. I'm kind of from a few students that just want to play video games to full-blown competitive teams. So that's what we usually see with most of our teams. Definitely try to utilize equipment you have before purchasing anything new. And if you are purchasing new equipment, try to think about equipment that can serve multiple purposes. Is this a gaming computer that can also, serve as, a computer that can sit in our computer lab and can be used during the school day? So try to, those are just some suggestions if you're just getting started. Yep. And then another big task, getting started is, getting support from your school leadership. starting small and making sure that you really have buy-in from those people that really matter, that can either shut it down or give you the green light to go ahead. And that's kind of my presentation in a nutshell. So I know that was a lot of information, but I also know this is being recorded. So if you ever want to go back and look at that, or if you have any questions for me, I'm sure, Lauren can send it to me and I'll be happy to, answer that and get back to you, or even hop on a Zoom call with you individually if it's something that you want me to discuss. So I just want to say, as part of PSEL, we're always here to support. And we're really excited about this, our first unified season in the springtime. So again, if you're interested, I'm more than happy to, I'm going to send out the meeting date once I finalize that. It's going to be in 2 weeks, and we can go from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, so anybody interested, we'll be sharing out in the weekly emails that go out with all the information. So definitely. So appreciate you jumping on it and sharing all the cool info on esports. Of course. And again, feel free to reach out if you need anything. It's been a pleasure, having this information presented. So we love to include more and more people. So it's our pleasure. Fantastic. Thanks. Any questions for Ryan? There might be some people just kind of digesting all the information. Yeah, again, it's a lot. So it's okay if you email me in a day or two. That's completely okay. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Ryan. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye. Awesome. So was definitely excited to have Ryan jump on, share that info. Could be a really awesome opportunity for folks that may not have a really good grasp on where they want to go with their club yet, that this could be a starting point with something around it fun. Because you say club and responsibility and kids freak out a little bit. You say video games, they jump on something a little bit quicker. Everybody's avenue is a little bit different. So that could be that starting point, or just something fun and new to be able to offer as an opportunity to get kiddos together in a cool environment, right? So we do potentially have some avenues to help with some resources if you're interested in that. So reach out to your particular liaison if you have any questions. I'll also share, we'll share out Ryan's contact information so you can contact him directly. Anything that would be esports related, PSL will handle that. So we'll connect you, but we are not going to be any part of the management of anything happening with it. Just to clarify the roles, we're the connecting point. We'll ask you we'll talk about reports coming up of what that looks like and how you can leverage it. But PSEL will be the folks that are managing it, offering all the support, doing all the training pieces of that. All right, so let's jump into the rest of the webinar that we have here. All right, talk about all things spring. So we have a lot of exciting things coming up. We've covered esports. We'll cover some senior recognition, jump into upcoming reporting and current reporting that's happening right now, talk some cool schools, and then wrap up with some spread the word 2023 and what that looks like. So every year we host a senior recognition celebration for all of our graduating seniors. These participants could have been part of a club, part of a team, part of both. We do not exclude anybody from this type of celebration. If they're graduating seniors taking part in a unified opportunity, we want to be able to take the chance to recognize them and their accomplishments throughout the years that they have had an opportunity to be a part of a unified champion school and the impact that it's made on them. So we are working on what that celebration looks like. For the last 2 years, we've had a virtual party celebration where we've had a DJ and had everybody come on and had some memories pop up. Folks were able to text in and chit chat with each other about fun that they had and then share some photos from their experiences throughout the years. It's a really cool, fun opportunity. So last year we had 130 graduating seniors that we were able to recognize, which was fantastic. The second part of why this is really cool, it allows us to connect folks to what's happening after graduation. So getting them connected to maybe a college that they're going to and what opportunities exist there. Is there a unified club within that college, or are they staying within the community programs? Let's get them that information. So there is a survey that we send out, and it's linked in here. So when you get the slide deck, anywhere there's a ton of links everywhere. But the senior recognition form is a form that can be filled out by a parent. It can be filled out by the participant. It can be filled out by you. It might take a little bit of teamwork on there, but it allows them to plug in their information, and it's just the basic information. It's a favorite memory. It's a Google form. Their favorite memory, their name, a couple photos, so we can plug those up in there. And then it asks a question if they're interested in learning more and staying involved within Special Olympics and Unified. And if they are, we'll reach out. If they say no, we won't contact them because we see where their interest is. But we want to be able to provide them that type of information, let them know what opportunities are existing where they're going. And that extends beyond just Pennsylvania. So if somebody wants to go to App State in North Carolina, we see that, and then we can get them connected to the folks at App State so they can go ahead and continue their career. So we won't hold them in Pennsylvania. We'd love for them to stay here, but we know that there's a ton of existing opportunities outside. So if they go, we want them to carry along that memory and that drive to be a part of something inclusive. So next is everybody's favorite topic, all things reporting. So this is something that's happening currently. So every year we ask for you to fill out 3 mandatory reports. These are mandatory reports. We absolutely must have 100% participation within these reports. Reason being, they are incredibly important in us justifying the funds that we use for Unified Champion Schools. This information is what they are requesting as a part of our grant that goes directly to all of you to be able to do everything that we do every day, right? So incredibly important that we're able to brag on you all and say what you're doing, what are your clubs doing, what whole school engagements are you participating in, what's going on with unified sports. So this gives us that opportunity to go ahead and do that. So those 3 reports include the following: your mid-year report that's in January, that's happening right now. It is open and available. Google form, take you 5 to 10 minutes, and you were recording everything that's happened from the beginning of the school year till December 31st of 2022. So that's all you need to do. What does your club look like? Did you come to Youth Summit? All that stuff, really basic information. The UMass survey comes out in April. So that is a report that comes from the University of Massachusetts. So it will not come from your liaison. The mid-year, end of year, they come from your direct liaison. UMass comes from the University of Massachusetts. So it's going to come from a different email. It's completely legit. Again, we need you to fill that one out as well. Questions are very, very similar. They compile all the answers from the questions in that survey from everyone across the country, 7,000 different high schools, and then come up with a composite report to see the impact of Unified Champion Schools across the country. So we recently just got the report from last year's data on what the impact was. So that incredibly important that we have that piece fit as well. So that happens in April. Now we piggyback off of that, and we will send you the end of year report coming directly from your liaison. Again, incredibly important, 100% participation. That as little or as much as you have to report is you fill this out. If you're like, we didn't do anything, we want you to do anything, I hoped you did something. If you had a struggle, a barrier, something that impeded you from doing something, there is a section in that report to allow you to provide that information, so your liaison can reach out to you and help you troubleshoot some things. But regardless of how much you think you need to report, please fill out the report. Okay. So that end of year in May is everything from January 1 through the end of your school year. Okay. And then we have until the beginning of June to turn that in. So that'll be coming mid-May-ish in the midst of all the craziness that happens around the end of the year. So we'll give you a heads up on it. It'll be a part of the monthly newsletter. So you'll have multiple opportunities to be linked to those reports. All right, so let's talk about cool schools and being bold and getting cold. All right, so my big question for many of you, and you can very rhetorical on your own end, is have you registered yet? Do you have a team, right? Yes, I see some heads nodding. That's fantastic. Hopefully you're getting excited, and this can be for any of the 3 ways that you want to participate. So don't feel like you're pigeonholed into an in-person plunge. Let's say, Lauren, I live in Potter County and I'm 4 hours from anything that exists as an in-person plunge. There's a reason we have multiple opportunities. We want to have opportunities in a way for everyone to participate regardless of where they are at. And I only call out Potter County because that's where I grew up. So I'm not targeting anybody specifically. So the 3 ways you can participate in in-person plunge, we have multiple of them happening across the state, especially coming up in the next few weeks through mid to end of January, all the way through the February here. Polar Pops. This was very popular during COVID when everybody was very virtual. It continues to be popular as an option for folks that aren't able to travel to a plunge, want to host something on site at their own school. Easy to manipulate and get everybody to do that. A rain rally is your 3rd option. Is we're pairing up with a local fire department. They come, they shoot the hose, and then you're having a crowd of high schoolers that couldn't be more excited to be wet to run through that stream of water. So participants and participation is raising funds. All of that goes directly to a Unified Champion Schools bucket. Okay, so that only goes to funding Unified Champion Schools programming across the state. So we have a number of different revenue streams. Much of them are grants that may or may not come in from year to year. And this is a way that we are able to make sure that we continue programming. It is also incredibly fun. So it's not just a fundraiser. It hits a number of different points that we are asking our Unified Champion Schools to do in a fun and engaging way. So if you haven't popped a balloon over your head in 24-degree weather, you should try it. It's very invigorating and it will get some people jazzed up, and it is a lot of fun. One of the new things that comes along with Cool Schools is the 15% revenue share. This is brand new for this year. So any school that participates can receive back 15% of all the funds that they raise, up to a maximum of $1,500. Okay. So that will come in a form of check back to your school. So anything that you raise, 15%, there's not a minimum. So do your best, raise whatever you can raise, get everybody jazzed up in your school, and then 15% of that is going to come back to you. Use that in any way you want to with your unified programs, whether that's your club, whether that's your teams, whatever you want to do with it to help make your schools more inclusive, that's yours to figure out and do. So here's an opportunity, right? So something that's also new for the first time this year is having its own standing website. So if you go to plungepa.org, you'll see a little information tab on there that says Cool Schools, but it's not going to link to this page. This is the link that you want. So this is what you're going to want to click on. It is very easy to walk through the registration process. It's going to bring you directly up to the page, and you're going to go ahead and click that register button, and it will help you. It'll walk you through setting up your team. So it does make you put in your actual school name. That's how we get you back that revenue share. That's how we communicate back any needs that you have to identify you and say, oh, well, we don't know who this is because they decided that they were going to be the Eagle Plungers. We have 1 million schools that have Eagles as a mascot. So please help us by putting in your school name in there. You are able to put a team name, but then you have to put your school name. So you can get creative, but we also need that too. So we can make sure that you get what you deserve out of your participation with this as well. So please approach this not as just another fundraiser, just raising money for Special Olympics. Like, this is what we do every single day of promoting Unified. This is how we do it. This is the activities. These are the competitions, the equipment, the uniforms, the stipends that we're able to offer coaches, all of that. But beyond that, it's a whole school engagement. It's a youth leadership opportunity. It's a way to engage your entire school in a totally different way than any other thing that they're doing throughout the year. So I ask you to take advantage of those multiple things. So in your reporting, this goes in as a whole school engagement. This goes in as an inclusive youth leadership opportunity, right? So it's hitting multiple points. And it definitely, I said it's fun. It really is. So I encourage you all to do that. If you need help, reach directly out to your liaisons. We'll walk you through the process. It is phone friendly. You can pull it up on your phone. You can walk straight through it. If you have any tech support issues, we got that. You can personalize these pages, put pictures up of your kids instead of pictures of some random kids at Heinz Field. That doesn't resonate with anybody else. You can personalize that Class A page to really make it yours as well. All right, my last piece that I want to cover, and most of the presentation does focus around this, I'll be honest here, is spread the word inclusion. Again, another whole school engagement, right? We ask you to do 3 throughout the year as high schools. One of them, you can do a polar plunge, fans in the stands, whether that's track and field, that's soccer for Philly, or if that's bocce. I know a lot of folks that have been doing that. I was at the loudest gym I have ever been at last week, and it was awesome. So 3 whole school engagements. Spread the word inclusion is one of those gimmies that we give you, right? It is an easy one. It is also impactful. They have a theme every year that they go by. This just started a couple years ago with the themes. Spread the word itself has been around for 12 years now. 2 years ago is when they got away from spread the word and the word, and we transitioned into spread the word inclusion. So you may have known it as its former name. Now we're going by spread the word inclusion, and this year's theme is going all inclusive. So for those that aren't as familiar with spread the word, it is a million different things. It helps people focus on what does inclusion mean to them? What does it mean to their school? Because every school is a little bit different in how they view things. But we want them to think about spreading the word for change, for unity, for kindness, for acceptance, to ending exclusion, for ending injustices and giving folks voices. So we want to give a platform to our students to be able to amplify this, spreading inclusion, right? And doing it in their way. So a little bit more just about the campaign itself. It is a campaign that was developed to spread the message of inclusion and acceptance. Again, started as let's remove the R word or the word retarded out of folks' regular vocabulary, which I think we've been very successful. I don't hear that word very often, and I don't know if it's just because of where I think it has had its time in the past, and people have thankfully left it there where it belongs. But it is about spreading inclusion and acceptance. Who should be leading it? Your students, to influence your school community. This is student-led, right? Traditionally, this falls on the first Wednesday in March. This year, it is March 1st. There is some flexibility here as to when you would like to hold your spread the word inclusion. Anytime. So we'll go about what you're going to get to help you do your campaign. So Special Olympics Pennsylvania offers a kit provided to you, pre-made, at a value of $150 for you to get started. So you don't have to be shelling out a bunch of money to make this happen. We will give it to you. We will give you the things to do the thing. And it's up to you to just be creative of how you want to execute that and how your students want to execute that. And why? Why do we do a spread the word inclusion? We do it to show support to students. We do it to educate the general population within our school buildings and to create change. Promoting inclusion, and it is not just a one-time spread the word deal in promoting inclusion. It is a year-round endeavor. This is what we rally around as like our big assembly, right? This is our culminating thing that we're going to use a spread the word. It can be a day, it can be a week, it doesn't matter. You get creative on that. So there's a million different ways. We're going to go over some of the resources. I'm one of those people, if you say you can do anything, my head goes a bajillion different places and it's hard to focus on what to do. So we do have a number of resources so you can give these to your students. They can click through this website and figure out what do they want to do, what resonates with them, because what resonates at one school is not going to necessarily resonate with another one, and that's all right. So that's why we want you to make it yours. So here's a pledge for those that don't know. We are ESPN partners directly with us. So they are a major part of our spread the word inclusion as well. This is the pledge. If you have never been in a gym to hear hundreds of students repeat this pledge together, I will tell you, I don't think I've ever had so many goosebumps in my entire life. It is extremely powerful to hear this pledge of, I pledge to look out for the lonely, the isolated, the left out, the challenged and the bullied. I pledge to overcome the fear of difference and replace it with the power of inclusion. I choose to include. It's like, I don't think there's anything more powerful than that. Again, engage the students. This should totally be student-led. This isn't another thing for you very busy people to have to plan. Give it to them. They can get creative. What we want you to do, and it's in an upcoming slide, is help guide them. Set some parameters so they don't go too crazy. What's realistic, just keep them in their lanes that they need to do, connect them to the people that they need to connect with to make sure that their project can go forth. So I talked about a number of resources. So LinkedIn here also is a resource. So we'll click on that right quick here, just so you can see it. So this is one of the major resources I offer you here is the Spread the Word Inclusion global page. On that resource page, there are a number of toolkits. This is your go-to kit right here. So have your students click through this. There's a toolkit for educators. There's one for students. There's talking points. There are templates for morning announcements. There's templates for Facebook. I'm going to fade because the sensor behind me decided to go off. There are templates for the Facebook pages as well. And there are templates for anything with social media. So there are things that are already created. So you take them, you drop them in, and you can utilize them. Jump back into the right one here. So what we would need you to do is help assign the roles, make it happen for these students here. We encourage everybody to kind of go beyond the traditional lunch table type of approach. If that works for you, if it's your first year and you're a little bit overwhelmed, there's nothing wrong with it. If you are a seasoned vet school, you should be thinking beyond the table. If you came to Youth Summit, we talked about this a little bit of getting creative and going beyond that and make it more impactful, right? So if you are having a banner at the lunch table, are you having that just sit at the table and people randomly walk by and sign it? Or are you offering a question to them? Or are you starting a conversation? So for them to get that wristband or that sticker, there is a conversation that's happening that's furthering that discussion around inclusion. Okay. So there's a million different ways to do it, right? You can hold a respect week. Here's some examples. You can tie it in with an anti-bullying week. You can have unified club members talking to other students. That can be homerooms, that can be over announcements. You can hold a pep rally for your unified team or include your unified team in an existing pep rally and then make a focus around spread the word as a part of it. You can create a video. Social media is huge. If a kid doesn't have a phone in their hand, I'm not sure they know what they're doing with their lives sometimes. So they can utilize that in a very powerful, meaningful way, put that phone to use for some inclusion. They can go ahead and put some stuff up on some social media platforms and reach an even broader audience. Again, these should, as a pro tip, be targeting the goals and the ideas of students within your clubs. There is a resources linked here as well. This is the same set of resources. Here, I'll just link it as many places as humanly possible, so it's very easy to find for you all. Your role, support. You're busy, support them, offer some direction, provide them the resources that they need, ensure that everybody has a voice. And we ask you to report the awesomeness to us. Go ahead and brag to us about how awesome your event was. I did drop one more resource in here, Generation Unified, which is also another amazing resource, goes way beyond just spread the word. The Spread the Word Global is 100% spread the word focused. Generation Unified is going to offer you a number of other resources, videos, pictures, lesson plans that you could pair with a spread the word message as well. So I talked about this kit of $150 worth of stuff. So in this pre-made kit is a banner, a set of t-shirts, stickers, wristbands are going to be in every single one of them. All these kits are valued at $150. We will direct ship them. These are already in process. It's already happening. In the next week and a half, they're going to begin shipping out. So whoever is listed as your direct liaison at your school is who it will be addressed to. Right. So your liaisons will be communicating with you of, hey, why don't you let the office staff know that a box is going to be coming for you? Because we know sometimes things get lost in the office if they don't know that it's coming. Give them a heads up. Each of these, again, sent directly to you. We will also be opening up a store. So we will provide that kit. If you think you need more materials, if you want to add some extra things, you will order them from an Ampro site. That link is almost ready to go. There are some other additional items that are included in the box itself. We wanted to provide in the box very easy distributable things so you can have in mass. So you're really getting the most bang for your buck with that $150 there. Anything that you order from the store will be at cost for you guys. So that will be at your own cost there. But you can order as much or as little as you want if you need some additional items there. No codes needed for folks that have been around for a hot second. Our veterans, we're not doing anything with discount codes or anything like that. We used to have this very confusing system of codes. It's gone. So we will direct ship to you. You want extra stuff, you go onto this site and you order whatever your little heart desires, and it will come directly to you. There will be an option as well that you can customize a shirt. So if you want to make something that is uniquely your school's, you can certainly do that. So it will provide an option. This one to the right here is of an example of what a school did a couple of years ago. The only thing that we ask is that if you include the logo for Special Olympics, is that we would like to see the proof of it so we can make sure that's in line with branding and that is used appropriately. Most of the time we love it, and there might be like a small tweak, but we just want to make sure that it falls in line with what we need it to be as an organization. And then the follow-up. So we want to hear about all the amazing things that you're doing. This ends up on your end of year report, but we also want to know in advance. So we can plug in some of those pictures that we put on monthly newsletters. We want to be able to plug some stuff in on there or shout out schools that are doing awesome, amazing things with their spread the word. So afterwards, we want you to debrief with your group and think of ways that you may be able to improve and get some more folks involved. Have your student leaders develop a quick summary of who, what, when, where, why, and how many people were exposed, because those are the questions that are on the report. Honestly, you can open this up, give them to your students to fill out the report themselves. It's a Google form. They're 100% capable of filling out the questions that are on that form. So you would just report here. This will be included in the next newsletter as well, so it's easily accessible for you. You can submit a video and you can submit pictures. So you have the option to submit a video, or up to 5 pictures is what you can upload to that form specifically. Last year, we did not get the best reporting on spread the word. We really want to know we are sending you materials. If you are at Unified Champion Schools in the state of Pennsylvania, you are automatically getting a kit. We would really just like to know, how are you utilizing that kit that we're giving you, okay? So what do you do if you need help? Please reach out. Reach out. We have an amazing staff. We have expanded our staff this past year, and I have only heard fantastic things of the support that schools are able to have because of us expanding, and because we hired the right people. We're very blessed to have the staff that we have. They are here for you. They are here for your questions. Please let them know if you run into anything, if you need a tech issue, if you run into something with Plunge, if you run out of ideas for a spread the word, if you're hitting some sort of barrier, please reach out to your liaison, and then they will help you out. That's what we're here for. Okay, we want to see you be successful this spring. That's our whole job. So you can work with your students to have just the most amazing spring. Hopefully, come February, Phil will tell us that spring is coming early. At least that's what I'm hoping. All right, so I'll go ahead and I will open it up for some questions and answers. And to not put anybody on the spot, I'm actually going to stop the recording at this time. So I'm going to give a quick blurb and say thank you for joining us today and appreciate your time. So I'll go ahead and close this out. And we'll go ahead and take some questions. Anything that really pops up, we'll make sure we include in the emails that are going out to you all for some information. You'll get follow-up email after this about everything that we talked about.